the dark gold EA still hasn't lost a trade, even though I made one key change. I allowed it to take both long and short positions. In one of my previous videos, I showed how the dark gold EA delivered a perfect streak of winning trades, and today I'll show you the updated settings and the performance in the account and the stats on FX Blue. And as always, I'll share the new set file with you. And because I really put a lot of work into keeping you guys updated, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell. Okay, let's take a look. So before we get into the account and the platform, I want to show you a little bit more about the dark gold. And the dark gold is part of the dark EAs, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with them. They are very popular. The dark gold is suitable for gold, Bitcoin, and several Forex pairs. And in the future, I will be testing it on other assets as well. But if we go down to the cost, you'll see that it's a very affordable EA. So for $99, you get 5 flexible licenses for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. And for $149, you get 10 flexible licenses. But don't delay, because I believe the price will be increasing soon from what I've heard from the developer. So this really is very good value. And as you'll see based on my results, it's an exceptionally good EA. Okay, so let's take a look at the platform first. And what you can see is that we have all winning trades. Now, as mentioned, and if you've watched the previous video, you'll know that I had the EA set to buy only. And that was because gold was very bullish. There has been a little bit more volatility lately. It is still bullish, but there has been a little bit more volatility. You can see, for example, here's this quite a big downward move here as well. But let's take a quick look. If we run through the trades, you'll see that this basically at this point here, this is where I changed it. And the reason is you can see that this trade was open for a very long time. So you'll see that it opened on the 23rd of June and it eventually closed on the 21st of July. So it was almost a month that this trade was open. Now at that point, I realized that keeping it on buy only probably wasn't the best strategy any longer. So once this trade closed, I changed the settings. And you'll see that if we go into the settings, so let's take a quick look. I'll show you where I changed it. So right here, this was set to false before. And what I also did was I allowed it to open buy and sell positions simultaneously, so that if it opens a trade and it does go into some kind of a floating loss or it goes into a period of stagnation, it doesn't mean that we are stuck and no other trades can open. It will open other trades in the meantime. Another thing to take note of in this account, and again, if you've seen the other video, you'll know this, is that I actually have disabled the grid. So this is basically opening trades and it's not adding any additional positions. The account is still very profitable, as we'll have a look. And however, in other accounts where I'm trading, I do have the grid enabled, and I've also got good results, and we will take a look at that shortly. Okay, so let's come back to the account. So what you can see is that after that trade there that we looked at, we now had a number of short positions that opened and all closed on a profit as well. Now, there is something quite important and interesting that happened here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open an additional column and I'm going to show you the swaps. And what you'll see is that on this trade here, the profit on the trade was $57, but the swap was a massive $984. So this is very important to take note of when you're trading, and sometimes it might be better to actually close the trade, even if it's on a little bit of a loss, to save yourself the swap and save yourself additional fees. Now, this is why it's also very important to always trade on a demo account for a while, get to understand your broker's trading conditions, get to understand the behavior of the EA and how the two relate to each other. Because what you might find is that the settings that you actually have it on might not be ideal. So that's why it's very important to always test it first. So now let me show you the FX Blue. So you can see that we have still a very, very good equity line. However, there is a little dip here, and this is not a loss, as you saw. This is actually that swap fee. If we go into the statistics of this account, if we go to the strategy tab, you'll see that we have actually 99% winners in here. Even though every trade did close as a winner on the platform, because of that swap, it actually registered it as a loss. So that's quite interesting, and again, just something to keep in mind. Having said that, I'm still very, very happy with the performance, and I'll just monitor it in the future. But I have made those changes, so I believe that that will make quite a big difference. Okay, so let me quickly show you the performance in some of the other accounts where I'm running this. And we're not going to go into too much detail, so that wasn't Darwinex. Here we have it on a $1,000 live account, and what you can see is if we look at the history, we have a number of trades that are open and closed. This account has been open since the first trade executed on the 12th of June, and today is the 31st of July, so it's about a month and a half, a little over a month and a half, and it's running at about 5%, which is pretty good because I have run this on very conservative settings. But 3.5%, 4% a month is very good. I'm quite happy with that. Then we also have it on a demo account here. Now in this account here, I'm actually running it together with the Dark Titan. So you can see the two of them are running at the same time. And here it very much is running as a grid. And there's a very good example here that happened recently. You can see that we had 6 trades that opened before they eventually closed, and they did close on a profit. So we can see the trades here. There were 6 of them. So we can see, because all of these are closed at 423. So it was this one, these two, this one, and then these two here, which were the profitable trades. So in the end, we did close on a profit, but here I am running it as a grid, but it is still doing pretty well. So together with the Dark Titan on this account, what you can see is that we have a total net profit of about 28, almost 29%, and that is over a period of, let's have a look. So this started at the beginning of March. So that's about 5 months. Okay, so about 30%. So yeah, so we're looking at about 5.5% to 6% a month, which is exactly where we want to be. So that is the point. It is a very robust EA, and you can use it on a number of platforms, and as you saw with the licensing, you do have that option. Now the reason I turned the grid off on Darwinex is because Darwinex Zero, the way the risk engine works, it doesn't like grid systems. It prefers systems that are more straightforward. And another advantage of Darwinex Zero is that it's very low risk for me, because Darwinex Zero costs just 38 euros a month or $43 a month, depending where in the world you are. It will adjust the currency accordingly. And for that, I can trade different expert advisors. I can try different strategies. I can try different risk settings. And it is actually costing me to trade. So there is a certain element of reality and realness that does come with trading in this environment. Now, what do you get for your $43 or your 38 euros a month? Well, you get 100K initially to start off with. That is the money that you get in a demo account to trade with, to prove your strategies and to prove your EAs. And based on that, you will get a rating, and based on the rating, you will get allocations. So what you want is you want a rating of over 75, and based on that, you will get allocations every month. Now, there are other options as well in terms of the payments and the allocations. Just on the 1 year, you also get a discount if you end up taking it for 12 months. And on the 3 year, this is very good value for money, because not only do you get quite a big discount in terms of your monthly costs, you also get a permanent allocation. And with this promo on the 3 year, this is what you get. You get this one here, which is 15%. So what that means is that you have to grow your Darwin, you have to get a gain of 15% in your Darwin. Once you get to that point, you will get the 100K allocation. So it is quite flexible, and there are a number of options for you. Now, I've tested a number of the dark EAs. I'm going to test more. I'm going to try it on different assets, and I'm always going to share my settings and my experience with you so that it will help you. And if you don't want to miss any of those videos, just subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know as soon as we drop a new video. Now, one last thing that I do want to show you on the platform is in my settings. Let's take a quick look. What I have implemented in this account is a protection. Because I'm not running the grid and trades could stay open for quite long, as we saw. Now, that one wasn't a very big loss. I think I got to about 8 or 9% as an equity drawdown, which is perfectly acceptable. But it could happen that there could be a big move. Like, for example, in the euro dollar, there was a massive move this week. So in order just to protect my account a little bit, what you can do is you can enable the protections in the account, and let me show you where that is. So if we go down here, and this is a question that I got asked quite a lot actually, you'll see that we have a monetary loss, and you can enable the monetary stop loss, or you can enable a stop loss on a percentage of the account. So in this case, what we've done is we have enabled the percentage stop loss, and you can see that here we have enabled it. We told the EA not to stop trading. So in other words, there's two options here. The EA can actually stop trading completely, or it can simply close the positions. Based on the history of this EA, I don't necessarily want it to stop trading, but I do want it to close my positions if it gets to the 25% that I've set here. So it is quite important with any EAs to really consider what your risk tolerance is and set your protections accordingly. So as you can see, the EA seems to be performing as well, and possibly even better with the new settings. So we'll leave it to run and continue to monitor it. You can keep an eye on it too using the link I will leave in the description to the track record. I will also leave links to Darwinex Zero, the robot, and the new set file, so you can try this out for yourself. And as always, please feel free to ask any questions you may have in the comments. Before you go, check out this video I recorded recently about another dark EA. As always, Thanks for watching. Trade safe, and I'll see you soon.